Hi there, readers and writers. My name is Miss Hodson, and I am your virtual teacher. And today we're getting very close to the end of our work together as we venture into lesson 46. It is week 10, and we're really driving toward an opinion that is informed and evidence-based as we really continue to circle around our guiding questions. How is the adolescent brain changing? That's you, your teenage brain. How is it developing? How is it changing? And how can we take the best care of it? So that's been one of our two guiding questions. And the other one is really driving close to home today. How can I make an informed decision about an issue, like screen time, for example, or social media, or trusting the news? You put anything you want in that blank. And then effectively argue my position with facts, with evidence, and with conviction. You really want to have a strong opinion that is based in not just ideas, but evidence that's from the articles that you've been reading. So today, things are going to get a little bit longer. From your distance learning packet, you're going to want to find lesson 46, which is a little longer than one page. There's a little more detail in it than typically we have had. So you'll see that lesson 46 is a page and a little bit more. And then you'll also need your lesson 46 note catcher. We're really going to get serious today and move our public service announcement forward. You'll also need a pencil. So if you don't have your materials, just pause here and I'll see you back here. You push play and we'll get started. All right, so today our learning target is I can identify the key points of an issue and an action. So we're going to dig very deeply around your chosen article and where you want to go with this particular project. So there's a little bit more on this screen, as I already mentioned, and we're really working on a project that is called a public service announcement. And it's going to hold an issue that you choose. You're picking this, and you're going to use evidence from articles, an article probably, and your own point of view. A speech is an important issue, is sometimes called a public service announcement. And so we've talked about this a little bit. You will see public service announcements on your local television station and also on the radio. So you can even Google that, you can look that up, and you can get some great examples of what is a PSA. There's a lot of those floating around in the world today. We have a lot of opinions and we want to be informed people. So you're going to pick one of the articles that you reread this week to focus on for your PSA. So out of the 9 articles, I had you choose 2. You spent the last 2 lessons looking at those 2 articles, and now I'm going to ask you to make a final decision about which one you feel more confident about or more passionate about. And that's the one you're going to stay focused on for the reading of this portion. So take a moment to do that, but if you already know what it is, you don't need to pause the video. And now we're going to move on into thinking. So you've determined which article and issue to focus on for your PSA. So now think about the audience. Will it be children or young adults like yourself, or adults? Who do you want to influence? Think about who should take the action and pick it up there to help solve the issue. So if you are in 7th grade, what audience do you hope to attract? Are you advocating to inform adults about an idea, or do you want to influence your younger brothers and sisters and community members? Or are you really going to go for that adolescent person like yourself, teenagers? So think about that. And for your PSA, you don't want to tell your audience absolutely everything that you've learned. just some of the most important points so they understand the issue and the one way that they can take action. So remember, these most important points are called key points. Okay, so review your note catchers from either lesson 44 or 45, whichever article you chose. Pull that out, and we're going to get started today as we begin kind of a discussion around how do you determine who's your audience for your PSA, public service announcement. What is an issue, the issue that you've chosen, and what are the key points about that issue and a way to take action. So what are the key points that you can take away? And it says on that bottom bullet point, what are the key points to the way to take action? So what can you do? How can you do that? So pause here, make sure you have your article and that you also have lesson 44 or 45, whichever one you've chosen, and come on back here and we'll get started. Pause if you need to, and then we're going to move into the heaviest part of the work today. We're going to be looking at the evidence. All right. So using your lesson 46 note catcher, you're going to write your final issue at the top of that note catcher, and you really want to decide by circling who's your target audience. Is it going to be children younger than you, young adults like you, so maybe middle and high school-ish, and then, or is it going to be adults? So maybe teachers and parents and community members. So you want to use the article you've chosen and everything that you've learned and your own beliefs and attitudes, but you got to have some evidence. You can't just be making it up, right? We all have strong opinions, but we want some evidence in this public service announcement. So I'd like you to be able to point out key points about the issue and then key points about action. So I'm going to give you an example. I don't want to see, 10,000 examples of my example, but I want to give you something to get started with. So one of the articles I was very fascinated with, I think comes around week 5 or 6, but it was about how sleep affects the brain. And so I would be advocating for everyone to get a little more rest. And so maybe I am going to stay focused on young adults, but I would certainly be encouraging children to get a good night's sleep. And so maybe my audience is adults. They're the ones that should be able to control a little bit of the sleep habits of the young people. So I'm not sure I know my target audience yet. I'm going to have to think about it. But my key points around the issue are the evidence of what we know about the brain when it gets enough rest and how much more prepared it is to learn and to have better energy and be able to be more effective in the day-to-day work. And then I would want to get my action points, my key points for action on the right side of my note catcher. I would want to talk about how to get 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep and why that's so important, and maybe turn the television off or charge the devices not in the bedroom where they can disrupt young people's sleep. And we know that a lot of this is going to be problematic or resisted, like people don't like those ideas, or young people might not like those ideas, but what can we do to advocate for everyone getting a little more sleep than we're accustomed to? Fatigue is not our friend. So these are just ideas that are swirling in my own head about how I would want to approach this public service announcement. Something about get your Z's, right? get your sleep, get your hours. And I think you could apply the same example to any of our articles. So no matter what you've chosen, I hope that you can see that your key points are the issue, it's your evidence base, and your key points on the other side of the note catcher are your action steps. Like, how can you encourage people to get more sleep? Why more sleep is on the left. How to get more sleep is on the right. So you can replay what I've said there if you want. I'm sure most of you have it just fine. And then I'm going to have you take 10 or 15 minutes to chart that out. Don't lose your paper because you're going to want to use it tomorrow when we get back together. So pause the video, do the work, and then come on back and we'll finish out today's lesson. All right, fantastic. So we started this week, final week, looking through all 9 articles, choosing 2, and now you're down to 1. And on your lesson 46 note catcher, you have all of your key points for issue and action. We'll pick it up there tomorrow. We really just wanted to identify the key points of an issue and an action. And you can keep thinking about, talking about, and sharing your work with people that are around you. And also just keep reading. Even if you are done and you feel fine about your assignment, you could be looking for other articles about your topic. So read for another 20 minutes. Don't get carried away. Maybe an hour. Reading makes you super powerful, and your whole evidence base gets wider, and you get more advocating the more you do. So I know that I will see you again soon. We're going to get tighter on our public service announcement and our next steps. So between now and then, I hope that you make it a great day.